Happy draft day to everyone who celebrates. I am Tom Downey. We are finally here, hours away, or maybe minutes, depending on when you're watching, from the 2023 NFL Draft. So we're going to break down the final Todd McShay Mock Draft and see where things or how things could go down this year. At number 1, it's been almost unanimous across the board. Bryce Young. I'd be the most shocked I've ever been in the draft early on if Bryce Young is not the pick. But pick number 2 is much more uncertain. McShay has Tyree Wilson, and it's been some buzz on Will Anderson, some buzz on Wilson. Maybe quarterback is still the pick. There's a lot of unknowns, including the medical for Tyree. He didn't do anything combine probably because he broke his foot. So there has been buzz on Wilson dating back to Lance Zierlein, who's based in Houston, NFL.com, who got ripped to shreds for it, and now it's like, he might be right in the end. So Wilson, if he goes at 2, it'd be a surprise. I think Houston would like to trade down. I don't think anyone's shown much interest at this point. Your guess is just as good as mine or Mel Kiper's or Todd McShay's as to who that number 2 pick ends up being. Who is it then? It's the pinned comment on today's show, so head down there and go vote. Who will be the number 2 overall pick in this year's draft? Pick number 3 is a trade. Yeah, a trade. Tennessee, just like in Mel Kiper's mock draft, Tennessee jumps up. Now, Arizona has not been shy about making it clear to everybody on Twitter even that they want to trade down. They want to move out of that number 3 overall pick, but so far, for now at least, no one has made the type of offer Arizona wants. That could change in the event it's not a quarterback at number 2. It could change if Arizona says, we'll take a little bit less. I'm reminded of the Deion Jordan, DJ Hayden trade, the Dolphins-Raiders all those years ago. Raiders took less to move down. Maybe something similar happens this year. And in this case, Arizona getting back less than what they got in the Mel Kiper mock draft here. First and a second, and either a first or a second next year. That's not a lot of value given up to get to number 3, where Tennessee takes C.J. Stroud. Now, Tennessee does not have a long-term quarterback. I think that team is out on Malik Willis. I don't think Mike Vrabel likes him. Tennessee has Tannehill and Willis on their roster. That's weird. You would think there'd be a third guy for a QB like Tannehill who has been banged up, who has missed time. They didn't trust Malik Willis last year. I think they will take a quarterback. I don't know if it's round 1, but I am on record saying Tennessee takes quarterback this year. That leaves then Will Levis for number 4. Been a lot of buzz. Indy loves him, but Indy's never been a leaky team. So I just wonder, hey, is that coming from maybe a team like Arizona secretly to get a team to jump Indy for Will Levis? Is Indy leaking their love for Levis because they actually don't want him? Who knows? We'll find out in a couple hours. It's 3 straight quarterbacks, by the way. Anthony Richardson. There is buzz around Seattle taking Richardson and then giving him a year behind Geno. You can move on from Geno after that there, which wouldn't that be something? It's a dream outcome for the Lions. I think Devin Witherspoon's the pick unless Will Anderson's here. In this case, you go, awesome. Thanks, everybody else. Thanks for going QB early. We're going to put Anderson and Hutchinson and James Houston, who flashed last year as UDFA, or a late-round pick, and they're going to have a lot of success on defense. Anderson's a dream pick there for the Lions. Christian Gonzalez then goes number 7 to the Raiders. I think offensive line, cornerback make the most sense for Vegas. At number 8, Devin Witherspoon, who I think good chance he goes 6. You do trade for Jeffrey Okudah. Move on from Casey Hayward. Corner is still an area of potential focal point for the Falcons. Number 9 then is Jalen Carter. There has been some buzz that the Eagles want to jump the Bears to get Carter if he slides, but Matt Eberflus loves a 3 technique. Jalen Carter is the perfect one for him. Now, are you watching the NFL Draft on Chat Sports this year? Y for yes, you are. L for you are lame. If you're typing in Y for yes or you don't want to be lame, go subscribe to the Chat Sports YouTube channel, youtube.com/chatsportstv. We'll be live for every single pick this year, not just round 1 or day 2 like some of the others out there. Every pick, we're going to have you covered. Go subscribe. We'll be live 2 hours before the draft starts at 8 p.m. Eastern because It's normally delayed by a good 5-10 minutes because ratings for the networks will be live. YouTube.com/chatsportstv. We will be tipping picks, by the way. Number 10, Nolan Smith to the Eagles. Curious what ends up happening there with Nolan Smith. Where does he end up going? I think 8 and 10 make a lot of sense for him, along with Bijan Robinson, who teaser falls big time in this McShay mock. Arizona gets Paris Johnson. Been a lot of buzz lately that the Cardinals like Paris Johnson Jr., which if you could trade down and get him at 11, I think is a great outcome. I think Arizona just desperately wants those long-term picks. Houston goes Jackson Smith-Njigba. If maybe they go quarterback or trade up for one. That's been a rumor out there. If they're not going, edge or QB here, I do think JSN makes a lot of sense for Houston. Dalton Kincaid to the Packers. I know this is out there. It would be a departure. The Packers love blocking guys at tight end. That is not Kincaid. Peter Skoronski slides to 14 here. I mean, you're getting a great player to help protect your quarterback. In theory, still Mac Jones. So I like that for New England, but they're not afraid of smaller arm guys. They did it with Isaiah Wynn, after all, or at least smaller guys. Broderick Jones, the Jets here. Makes a lot of sense. He could go as early as number 9, by the way. Emmanuel Forbes, number 16, out of Mississippi State. The Commanders like to use zone coverage. That's why maybe some of the known corners, like a Joey Porter Jr., don't fit as well. Forbes did both for Mississippi State, but I think it'd be a fun if he's a playmaker. I think he's worth the gamble at some point in the round. I know that the Bengals love him too. I think he's going in the first round this year. We will have nonstop coverage for you guys all weekend long right here, youtube.com/chatnfl. Make sure you guys are subscribed. We'll have some bonus pick coverage for you guys that isn't even part of our live stream. So you want more draft coverage all weekend long, make sure you're subbed. Deonte Banks, number 17. I do think they would love to trade up for a tackle. We'll see if they're actually able to pull that off, though, come draft night. Kalijah Cansey, number 18. Will Anderson and Cansey, first 2 picks. That's taking care of the trench players in a big-time way. Darnell Wright, who I think could be in play for the Commanders, slides to number 19, or maybe goes at number 19. I think you would put Tristan Wirfs at left tackle in this scenario and put Darnell Wright on the right side. Zay Flowers, number 20. I bet Seattle trades down, but if you want to put Flowers and Lockett and Metcalf together with Anthony Richardson, you're giving him success, and maybe Geno too. Here's Bijan. Off the board, pick number 21. I don't know where he goes. I think he's McShay's number 2 overall player, and he goes at 21. NFL is caught up to the positional value concerns of running back Joey Porter Jr. to his dad's division rival. Wouldn't that be something? It'd be a great fit for the Ravens. Jordan Addison, number 23. More mentions of Hendon Hooker maybe being the pick here for Minnesota. I think Addison, if you're going to use some more receiver sets, makes sense for the Vikings. I could see Van Ness going earlier than this. I think McShay could too, but he's a good fit in Jacksonville if he does slide down here. This is a pick I've mocked before as well, so no real complaints there if he does slide to Jacksonville. Now, of course, we at Chat Sports here will be live for all 7 rounds. How many rounds of this year's NFL Draft will you be watching? Sound off in the comments section. Number 25, Michael Mayer out of Notre Dame to the Giants. And this is weird to me because they traded for Darren Waller. They drafted Daniel Bellinger last year. So another tight end would surprise me. It would, I think, snipe the Cowboys from getting Michael Mayer, who McShay has going Luke Musgrave. There's been some buzz, by the way, that maybe there's some medical stuff going on with Darnell Washington that could cause him to slide further than what had been previously been mocked. Dallas likes tight ends, or they've been looking at tight ends, I should say, this year. I think they'd be heartbroken if Mayer went 1 pick before them. This could be a panic pick, I suppose. Quentin Johnston to the Bills here, and I don't mind this one unless maybe they get DeAndre Hopkins. A more buzz of Jahmyr Gibbs to the Bills, but they've drafted 18 backs. Like, they don't need another one. And Jahmyr Gibbs does go to the Bengals. A lot of buzz. He'll be a late round 1 pick. I think that ends up being the case. Myles Murphy slides all the way to 29. That'd be a great pick for the Saints. You replace Marcus Davenport with Murphy. That's a great outcome for the Saints. And an elite outcome here for Philadelphia. Brian Branch. That's one of my guys this year. I am a huge fan of Branch's game. As a Cowboys fan, I would hate this pick because he would thrive in Philadelphia. And finally, Will McDonald out of Iowa State, who I do think goes round 1, maybe probably around this range, 25-31 range, to the Chiefs to be a nice compliment to George Karlaftis long term. Remember, folks, we will be live for the 2023 NFL Draft on the Chat Sports YouTube channel. Go subscribe, youtube.com/chatsportstv.